Arsh, how's it going, man? How you doing? Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Unhinged, how's it going, man? You're alive. Haven't died in Iran yet. Good for you. Keep hiding out, alright? You just keep your head down, and in time you might, there's a chance you make it out. Ah, I will keep my head. How you doing, buddy? Oh, this one is easy? Fuck you. Oh, dickhead. Okay. Let me just try to use one with the letters that I don't. Come on, give me something. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. Got it. Chris, how's it going, man? How you doing? Duty free, baggage claim, food court ticket counters, places in an airport. Nice. The Lorax. Okay, monkey bars. Rest. I'm addicted to Crimson Desert, man. Ah, nice. Brass tacks, basic facts, bottom line, lip service. No. Nitty gritty. Okay, there's like, there's a, I don't know why I'm getting these for. Hold on. Turn signal, traffic cone, monkey bar. Fuck. Things that are orange. Cellular connectivity, service bars, signals. Oh, cringe shit. Hold on, I'm gonna open my window. It's fucking hot in my room. Interesting season. Season time. Interesting. Interest. Interesting and interest don't fucking connect. This game is broken. This game is genuinely broken. time, effort, skill, develop interesting hobby. Develop interesting hobby, grow. Growth. Betterment. Antique? The fuck would antique have to do? Grow interesting. Develop interesting. Personality. Develop. Okay. Words that come out of interesting. Interesting, fascinating. Study. Study, fascinating. Interest, fascinating. Learn. Fuck me. Novelty. Ancient. You're genuinely just... These are the three things that fucking Unhinged has contributed. Like, what the fuck are we talking about, bro? Study, fascinating, learn, fascinating, interesting. I've taken a keen interest. Keen interest in discipline. Idea. Okay, what do you do? An idea. And then you work on it, or you study it, or you develop it, or you act on it, or you clever. Smart. Thank you, Unhinged. That somehow worked. Somehow it's fucking unhinged. You're kidding. Kami, how's it going, man? You're they, them? I'm sorry. How are they today? Lord, why am I getting a headache? Check doesn't work. This check doesn't work. No, this check. Always be looking for checks, boys. Always be checking. A, B, C. Thank you. Can't go here. in here. Made in 26? No, it didn't take your mom and I 26 minutes to mate. What are you talking about? Wallflower, how's it going, man? Oh, yeah. Fuck, no! The was undefended, idiot. It's survival. Fuck you. Okay, so this is what we do here. Take this. Oh, that was wrong. Oh. Boys, we have to win this. We're sub 800 again. It's cringe. I have so much pressure. No. We have. Which bow would you lose? Nah, I time out. Okay, I time him out. Okay, to be clear, I wouldn't time out. Okay, do I take this, but then he takes, and then I have to take with this? King. Take with the. And then I can go here. No, not that. Whew. If he takes, I take with the bishop. Develop that. Thing. Dare I say he sees it? I think my best course of action is just to abandon. Over. I'm genuinely cooked. He's moving pretty fast and he's moving good. This is whack. I genuinely, I fucking curse upon your fucking house. Genuinely, I fucking hate you. Kill yourself, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude, you're so cringe. I'm gonna take your pawn. Just, you fucking can't checkmate with a queen, you actual fucking loser, bro. Genuinely, holy fucking shit. Oh, you gave. Oh my god, he can't check. I don't know if he genuinely doesn't know how to fucking checkmate with a fucking queen. What the fuck are we doing here? Dude, bring your queen here, you. He's genuinely, like, mentally challenged. He needs help. I have 2 pawns, idiots. How do I fucking stalemate? These guys have infinite fucking moves. And kill yourself, dude. What a cringe opening. Oh my god. Genuinely, end it all, bro. And Hinch, I swear to God. Just don't make me, please. Please leave me be. D6. Scar. Used to be my favorite gun. Modern Warfare 2. I don't like this song. As time ticked away, Lumion sensed his body temperature slowly dissipating. Even the blazing sun outside the public carriage couldn't stave off this change. His thoughts dulled, and the skin on the back of his hand turned white. At last, Lumion made it to the market district. You guys can't hear the music? What are you talking about? What do you mean no music? You can't hear it? Barely? Is it too quiet for you guys too? Oh, yeah, probably. Okay, how's this? As time ticked away, Lumion sensed his body temperature slowly dissipating. As he disembarked from the public carriage, his limbs seemed to stiffen. Just as he turned onto Rue de Bleu Blanche, a man approached him and was taken aback, letting out a soft gasp. Lumion instinctively glanced to his side, assessing his reflection in the cafe's glass. His hair appeared as if it hadn't been washed in days, and his face had turned a sickly blue. There were many purplish-red patches and signs of decay on his neck, and his eyes mirrored the cold emptiness of a corpse. Lumion smirked. Well, what do you think? Have I convincingly turned into a zombie? He nodded his head, adopting a colder tone, reminiscent of Hela. The gentleman silently cursed and bypassed the fellow who appeared ready to attend a masquerade ball. Lumion knew the corruption consuming him was worsening. He quickened his pace and reached the safe house he hadn't yet turned over. He arranged the altar, unfolded a piece of paper, and penned a letter to Madame Magician. I fulfilled Madame Justice's mission and have acquired the spring water of the Samaritan Women's Spring, but I'm also succumbing to corruption. It's worsening. How could I eradicate it? After neatly folding the letter, Lumion summoned the messenger. The doll messenger materialized and gave Lumion a nod. I'm quite fond of your current demeanor, though your hair is too greasy. The aura of near death? Lumion's urge to mutter was even weaker than before. After watching the messenger depart, he set a 15-minute time limit. If Madame Magician didn't respond, he'd have to explore other avenues to rid himself. One possibility was to perform a ritual and seek and beseech Mr. Fool. Tick-tock, the needle on the pocket watch borrowed from Saul de Balbry maintained a steady rhythm. Lumion had previously noticed it was nearly 10 minutes slow, as if the closer he came to the women's spring, the slower it ticked. I've been thinking, what the fuck was that fucking women's spring bullshit? What the fuck was... Why was there the aura of Sephora Castle around it? Like, the aura of a Sephora around that. You know why? The fuck? The only other thing that we've seen with that kind of... Check out COI artwork. The only other thing that we've seen with that kind of aura was like the thing in the Forsaken Land of the Gods, right? Like the thing that Klein had to go and, seek the... the near Moon City. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? That's like what it's reminding me of. Could it be like another... I don't even know if this makes any fucking sense. I don't know how this would, mind you, but okay. Yeah, the Western continent, yeah. I'm just saying, the only thing I can think of is... if it's a Sephora. I don't know how that makes any fucking sense. I don't know what Sephora would be. I don't know how Lumion of fucking Sequence 7 went to a Sephora and came out alive. I don't know if this makes any fuck... That seems really dumb. There's no fucking way that makes any sense. He's a sequence 7. He'd like die at the sight of looking at it. A sequence 7 and a 5 walk into a Sephira and walk out alive? I think not. I don't know, I can't think of anything. That's the only thing I can think of, but that doesn't make any fucking sense. There's no way a sequence 7 went in there and just came out. Suddenly, Klein was a sequence 3 when he saw his first Sephira, am I right? Suddenly, the starlight material, but then again, the one thing that it's giving me is like, as if the closer he came to the Samaritan women's spring, the slower it ticked. Which makes me think like maybe it's a Sephira for the monster pathway, like the time bullshit. If that makes any sense? Suddenly, starlight materialized from the void, forming a mysterious door. The door swung open and Madam Magician emerged. Tarot Club's Major Arcana glanced at Lumion and gave a nod, prayed to Mr. Fool for an angel's purification. Still have to pray? Lumion proceeded with the altar and prepared. He lit the candle and in a deep voice said, "The fool that doesn't belong to this era, the mysterious ruler above the grey fog, the king of yellow and black who wields good luck. I implore thee to cleanse the corruption within." Once the ritual concluded, Lumion once again saw an angel formed of light surrounded by 12 pair of wings. Only with his peripheral vision remaining, he felt the chill in his body dissipate, and his body temperature returned to normal. Before long, the angel departed. Lumion looked at the full-length mirror in the room and realized that his complexion, hair, and eyes had returned to normal, and the livor mortis had vanished. Lumion expressed heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Fool and concluded the ritual. As he turned to Madam Magician, a sudden reconciliation struck him. The wound from the corrosion of the earth blood ore was still there, though it was no longer as vividly red as before. It hadn't yet faded either. "Can't this be cleansed?" he asked. "Share the details with me," Miss Magician said. She took the initiative to pull up a chair and sit down. Lumion settled into a chair as well, beginning with Madam Justice's assignment and recounting how he and Hela each extracted a third of a canister worth of the spring water, narrating the encounter with the colossal, frenzied figure. Although I guess the flip side to that is it does make sense that Audrey, who's now an angel, said, "No, I shouldn't go there, because the danger's way more for me." Oh, maybe it could be a Sephira. Dude, this might work. Hold on. I might be cooking. Don't sit here and tell me it's really obvious. Fuck you guys. He narrated the encounter with the colossal frenzied figure and the bizarre powers simultaneously. He didn't omit any details either. Madam Magician listened in silence before chuckling. It's quite challenging for truly formidable figures to die completely. Even without characteristics, bodies or souls, they often leave behind imprints, marks, or auras. When the right conditions align, they may find a way back to the real world. Like the oldest one? The creator? Lumion grasped. So who is this figure? Likely Alista Tudor, the Blood Emperor of the Fourth Epoch. The Blood Emperor? But then why the fuck would he be in the Sephira of another pathway? It doesn't even fuck. There's no way it's the Sephira of the Red Priest pathway, is there? Huh? Alista Tudor's empire once spanned what was present-day Intis. The Trier, submerged underground, served as his capital. I almost want to tell you so you realize how dumb you look. Okay, then fucking say it, you coward. God damn it. According to Martin, the Blood Emperor was a true deity who grasped the hunter pathway. That's correct, Madam Magician affirmed. The War of the Four Emperors was a genuine conflict amongst gods. At least a Tudor met his end and submerged in the Fourth Epoch Trier, which also caused the capital to sink underground. He had long descended into madness and committed numerous atrocities. Rumor has it that he nearly entombed all the deities who participated in the war alongside him. Even now, many remnants of that war lie buried underneath Trier. What occurred during the War of the Four Emperors? Lumine asked. I'm not certain either, Madam Magician said. I've only heard about it from the two beings who personally witnessed it. They don't possess the full picture either. After all, one should not look directly at gods. Remember, never look directly at a god, even if it's an incomplete mythical creature transformed from a Sequence Force saint. Beings who had witnessed the Four Emperor War still survive to this day? To have participated in such a conflict, they must at least be angels. Could they be the two angels beside Mr. Fool's throne? Could she have talking to Azek? Oh, hold on. I saw an imprint of Salinger and the other one in the distributory of Calderon City. This is another one? How is it in two places? I'm so confused. Why is it in two places, though? What does that make any... How is it... Moon, how's it going, man? When would the thumbnail change? That's a great fucking question. When we get a good piece of artwork... What the fuck do you mean there's multiple? It's a river? Yeah, but where's the river? Oh, it's in the western continent, idiot. Yeah, he just said that. It's out west. I'm an idiot. Never mind. Hold on. Because it's trying to break the seal. Calderon is the easiest one to access, but not best to get out in the world. There's probably dozens of distributors, but... Okay. Okay. But then why did the time... I thought the time thingamajig changing would have something to do with the monster pathway. I gotta go. No worries, Moon. Good luck, buddy. Twilight Giant has partial control over time with dusk. Oh, that's new. I didn't know that. So, Lumion asked, after the Blood Emperor's demise, his mental mark or residual aura remained sealed within the Women's Spring? That would likely be a death mark, but I suspect it's intertwined with a mental mark, residual aura, or even some lingering spirits left behind. At least a Tudor wouldn't persist in a combative state within the spring. Otherwise, combat can indeed be considered a hunter trait, Magician speculated. As she spoke, she extended her hand into the void, disappearing from Lumion's sight. After a brief search, it reappeared, holding a glass of kirsch. Didn't your sister teach you? When you have a guest, remember to ask if they want tea or wine. Perhaps offer some snacks, idiot. Magician chided playfully as she took a sip of the light red wine. How could I remember it at a time like this? Where the fuck did she get wine? No, it's not you. No, it's not you. Just forgot because you're a bummed I can't stream every day. Kami. I'm all you've got, buddy. Do you know why fucking Easy's just stopped streaming altogether? Like, how often... when was the... Okay, how often does Easy stream? Hold on. I'm all you've got. Yeah, you know what? It is difficult. You know, with work and everything else, it is difficult, okay? With work and obviously right now, just... Oh, okay, maybe a bad time, okay? Maybe a bad time to mention this, because Easy's apparently going to be streaming in an hour, half an hour. Okay, maybe the bad did it, but he streamed a month ago, okay? Fuck you guys. I'm doing this, I get no support, no one's around, I stream and I still do my best, and you guys are so mean. I'm doing this with no support, guys. God. Everyone's so mean to me. What's the origin of the strange power that dragged Alista Tudor into the spring? I don't know. Even a true god may not know. All I can be certain of is that it has no connections to the War of the Four Emperors. Lumion decided to put this matter aside and ask, what are these marks? Can't Mr. Fool cleanse them? If this isn't corruption, it can't be cleansed. It's more similar to a mystical item embedded in your hand. It will bring about certain adverse effects, and these effects can't be cleansed unless the item itself is removed. An item? What's its purpose, and what danger does it hold? It's useless. I mentioned it's similar, but not equivalent. It certainly isn't a direct source of power enhancement. Rumor has it that the underground ruins of the 4th Epoch Trier, there are numerous treasures left behind by Alista Tudor in various locations. Only those with the Tudor family bloodline can unlock them, and now you can too. So it's like my palm contains some of the Tudor blood and aura unrelated to powers? As soon as the two connected, he was abruptly engulfed. Lumion tried to probe the bright red scar on his right palm with his consciousness. As the two connected, he was abruptly engulfed in a surge of frenzied, violent, terrifying aura. Soon, the entire apartment quaked. Yeah, I streamed like 4 days last week. It'll be like 3 days this week. Now, is it as much as I used to? No. Is it great? No, it's probably not great either. I understand, okay? But you guys also have to understand. Previously, my job was either a lot lighter, I didn't have work. And secondly, I was also making a decent bit of cash flow from the stream. So I was like, alright, okay, get your ass up and stream. Now I'm just doing it for the love of the game, honestly. I don't make anything off of these, so it's just like, you know, I gotta find the time to do it. Nick's SBR release schedule look good? Wait, what does the SBR release schedule look like? I honestly haven't even seen the first episode yet. The sudden change and frenzied aura that had affected Lumion instinctively made him withdraw his consciousness from the scar. Lumin surveyed his surroundings, concerned the aura may attract unwanted attention. At that moment, the room fell silent. Lumin relaxed and asked Madam Magician, what happened? The trace carries the aura of Elisa Tudor, but has no practical effect. It can't intimidate others or make them submit. With the niece face, you can act as the Blood Emperor at the theater. It can only be used as acting or to frighten people, Lumion nodded. What kind of negative effects will this have? You'll become crazier, more ferocious, more impulsive, but you're not lacking in that anyway. That's good, Lumion sighed. For now, you mainly rely on your perseverance and alms monk endurance to suppress the negative effects and maintain your state. However, when the time is right, you need to vent. It's like a reservoir. You can't keep accumulating. You need to find an opportunity to release. Otherwise, if you accumulate day by day, it will either break the dam or spill out into the reservoir, leaving behind psychological problems. That's true, Lumion nodded. Suddenly, he thought of something. After joining the Iron and Blood Cross Order, he would inevitably explore underground Trier. Although he possessed the Blood Emperor's aura and the qualifications to enter certain places, would he trigger more abnormalities and encounter more danger? This is a completely foreseeable discovery. Like the saying goes, it is both a boon and a curse. We don't know when episode 2 is going to come out. Netflix said nothing even after a week. Aw, cringe shit. Netflix is going to come out next week and say you need Netflix Prime to watch SBR episode 2. It's $40 a month. If you don't want to take such a risk, pray to Mr. Fool again in 2 or 3 days and ask him to alleviate or eliminate the aura. Remember, you must specify that it is the aura of a high-level beyonder of the Hunter pathway to prevent any misunderstandings. Miss Magician shook her head. Lumion fell into thought, contemplating whether to retain this aura. We can't see the brands on your shirt properly. Oh, yo. Yeah, this is a Mercedes F1 hoodie or sweatshirt, I guess. So, no, hold on. Mercedes, AMG, UBS, CrowdStrike, Hewlett Packard, HP, Petronas, Ineos, TeamViewer. There's more here. I don't know what TWC is. The Marriott, and then I can't read that. I don't know what that is. Health. As for the potential dangers, he was concerned, but he only chose the options with fewer disadvantages. Wait, hold on. Recalling that that entering the underground to search for 4th Epoch Trier would be a mission assigned by the Iron and Blood Cross Order, and triggering abnormality was high anyway, he steeled his resolve and chose to keep the scar. Unlike other members of the Order who had been corrupted, only Elisa Tudor's bloodline aura could allow him to withstand the same treatment underground. In any case, searching for the entrance to the 4th Epoch Trier wasn't a sole mission. When the time came, many members of the Iron and Blood Cross Order would undoubtedly join the effort. Seeing that Lumion had made up his mind, Miss Magician didn't say anything else and savored her wine. That group of Monet Islander swindlers, or rather, the people at Saudabal Unique, could it be they wanted me to obtain this aura and open a treasure trove? Well, why not do it themselves? They've already stolen the ore. Perhaps it's too dangerous for them, or they just don't want to try it. If you fail it, you could unleash the Emperor's remnant spirit. If you succeed, they'll just have to wait until you find the treasure. Ushering the Blood Emperor's remnant spirit. Back then, I felt that as long as I came into contact with the spring water, I would die immediately. I probably can't become a vessel for the Blood Emperor's resurrection. Normally, yes, but since you're a hunter and possess Mr. Fool's seal and an angel, once you're dragged into the spring and fused with the Emperor's aura, it may trigger an unpredictable explosion, allowing Elisa Tudor's to escape its restraints and prevent death from imprisoning him. Miss Magician gently swirled her glass. That was just my guess. The true motives of those at Saudabal Unique remain to be confirmed. It may just be a prank. In short, be vigilant. Don't relax just because you feel that the other party has achieved their goal. In fact, even if Madam Magician hadn't mentioned it, Lumion would have taken precautions against the swindlers who always appeared. This guy was close to traumatizing him. yeah, Mpreg. Should we report the anomaly to the churches? I've been observing the dance hall for some time and realized that most of the people wearing monocles are normal. Only a few are problematic, and the few who are problematic are irregular. It's difficult to lock onto them. Furthermore, no one knows if he is amongst those who don't wear monocles. To completely eliminate him, we may have to apprehend everyone on the street, either destroying or purifying them. What do you mean if he is among them? Lumion asked. He has already interacted with these several times. It's necessary for you to understand him to an extent. He is the great noble of the Fourth Epoch's Tudor Empire, Amon, the child of the ancient sun god who ruled the entire world. He's Amon? Lumion recalled the islander swindler Monet, who had climbed out of a member of the Amon family tomb. The person behind him was an angel? He was once a king of angels and ascended to the throne of a deity, but was defeated by Mr. Fool and is now an ordinary angel. Oh, it's so peak! It's not even a lie anymore, it's so peak! It's so peak! He belongs to the Marauder pathway. High-ranking individuals of this pathway have a special ability called parasitism, the separation of a portion of themselves and to parasitize the body of others. There are shallow levels of parasitism and deep levels. The higher the sequence, the more targets they can parasitize. Monet has been parasitized? That's right. Every member of the Fourth Epoch Amon family is Amon. The Amon toilet theory remains untouched, baby. I am now an old man relishing at the accomplishments of my younger self. But I stand here in fucking dismay. My god. If I hadn't been pooping that day, who knows? I never would have come across this brilliant theorem. Lumion found it fitting to describe those wearing monocles on their right eyes as bedbugs and cockroaches. How many avatars does he have? Lumion asked. Since the Fourth Epoch, he has been hunting Beyonders of this pathway for ages, gathering many characteristics. No one knows how many avatars there are. What you need to remember is that when you encounter a Mon, there are already many Amons lurking around. They'd be rats, bedbugs, or even smaller creatures. Isn't this perfect for monitoring others? Lumion asked. What's the approximate sequence of Amon's avatar? Lumion asked with a lingering fear. He has a way to weaken his avatar, but he is still an angel. Do not underestimate his avatar. Yes, it is similar to a special scene on the third level of the tomb and below. You can determine it and treat it to the specific situation. What is the purpose of the Samaritan Women's Spring? Lumion changed the subject. Amon technically deleted a pathway. Yeah, like basically no one is off the Marauder pathway anymore. Like they're so insanely rare. And you might get lucky and find like a sequence 9 or 8. You start getting mid-sequences, there's like fucking none of them. You get to fucking demigods and it's like, oh, thank you for collecting all this for me. It would have taken me a while to do that. Yoink, insta-death. Why do you care? You can't use it. You can only use it to forget all your memories and original feelings and become a new person. That's right. In the Corpse Collector, Sleepless, and Warrior pathway, the Samaritan Women's Spring has different uses depending on usage, ritual, and compatibility. It includes, but isn't limited to, clearing memories, healing damage to your spirit, improving one's spiritual perception, becoming an ingredient for rituals, and unlocking various abilities. Any more questions? Not for now, Lumion nodded. Then it is my turn to ask, Madam Magician said. Music soon? Sounds good. Ask what? Lumion was puzzled. Why didn't you inform me that Miss Magician had sent you to the Women's Spring? I thought she would have informed you herself. Moreover, she's another major arcana. I didn't see the need to confirm it with you. Normally, there would be no issue, but this world is filled with anomalies. Is something wrong with Miss Justice? No. That's not it. The problem lies in the fact that shortly after you accepted the journey, the Earth Blood Ore went missing. I have no knowledge of your impending trip to the 4th level of the catacombs, and Miss Justice wasn't aware of the Earth Blood Ore. It's not a matter of whether you wanted to take it with you or not. What the fuck are you pissed about now, Kami? If we had arranged beforehand, I could have delayed the mission and to ascertain the whereabouts of the Earthblood Ore or made arrangements. Lumin realized her words. Having foreseen that the Earthblood Ore would bring about certain danger underground, she couldn't ignore the hidden connection between the ore going missing and the journey to the Women's Spring. Lumin's negligence, or rather his assumption, had led to the subsequent encounter. People are only other than that is Bethel to stop M-God? Huh? You're reading but not listening? Something is off? What the am I having a stroke? Is Kami having I don't understand. What the fuck is going on here? What's happening with Audrey? Yeah, I'm listening. You can't entirely be faulted for how you handle the situation. I'm merely reminding you to exercise more caution. This will be even more crucial when you seek entrance to the 4th Epoch Trier in the days to come. Yes, Madam Magician. After she disappeared with the bottle of spring water, Lumin swiftly tidied up the altar and settled down. Firstly, Madam Magician is right. I should have informed her. Even if they already communicated and there was no issue, I should still mention it. After all, my Major Arcana holder isn't Justice, but Magician. Secondly, before entering the spring, I should check my condition and items for final confirmation, unless there's a battle or an emergency. If I had remembered to do this before, I could have avoided many problems, and I wouldn't have brought the Earthblood Ore to the Samaritan Women's Spring undetected. Monet, no, Amon, appeared several times and deliberately frightened me to disrupt my thoughts, causing me to neglect the Earthblood Ore's return. Thirdly, I didn't notice Termi Bors's abnormality. He remained silent in the face of Monet's appearance, unlike his vigilance and anxiety from before. Though he is sealed, he can sense his surroundings. As an angel, how could he not notice Amon stuffing the Earthblood Ore into my pocket? But his fate is intertwined with mine. When I entered the Women's Spring, my fate must have changed. How could he not notice? Why didn't he warn me? Does he want to use the special encounter of the Women's Spring and the Earthblood Ore to find a way to escape? Yes, he was the one that warned me that the ore was special and would bring about a fortuitous encounter. That strange power prevented him from achieving his goal. Who could it be? It is true that an evil god's angel cannot be trusted completely. Termi Boris has been acting so reliably recently, reminding me from time to time not only to avoid danger that can affect him, but also to lull me. He's waiting to stab me in the back. You are a hunter. After entering the Samaritan Women's Spring, there was no problem with my choices. The adverse effects erupted, but with all kinds of mental corruption stacked on top of each other, it was already difficult to react, regardless of what was right or wrong. Termi Boris, how did you not notice Monet stuffing the Earthblood Ore back to me? Lumin chuckled. Termi Boris remained silent. Lumin ascertained the role of this angel had played in the recent events. He examined the items on his body, fearing that they would lead to his death. Thankfully, the objects were relatively unaffected and suffered no substantial damage. As for the rust that the flogged boxing gloves encountered, it wasn't a true attack. Apart from leaving some traces, it didn't affect the usage. As for the gazes and the dangerous creatures that the boxing gloves would bring, Lumin didn't have any thoughts. After doing this, Lumin surveyed his surroundings and felt an indescribable fear and disgust for the safe house that Amon had once entered, feeling that there were eyes in every corner. Of course, this was mainly psychological. After all, Madam Magician had already visited. After dismantling the hidden traps in the safe house, Lumin opened the door and left with all his belongings, planning never to return. Trier, in a verdant park, Magician, adorned in a brownish-yellow dress, observing a golden retriever strolling around the grassy path, turned to a woman standing beside the dog, wearing a simple white dress in delicate green patterns, her eyes resembling sparkling emeralds. The Samaritan women's spring has been retrieved. The woman smiled. Did something happen? You should have just gotten a messenger to bring it over. Coincidentally, we haven't met in the past few days and haven't spoken. This led me to know that he had lost the Earthblood ore suspected of being stolen by Amon. But I didn't know he was going to retrieve the women's spring. You, on the other hand, did, but didn't know that the Earthblood ore had been stolen. It's very similar to that person's style. Justice listened before sighing. Is it really that person? Magician frowned. When did he cast his gaze over? Did we fail to hide from him since the beginning? There's no fucking way. Adam, fuck off. There's no way. What the fuck does Adam want from this? Is it even accurate to still call him Adam? At this point, isn't he just the true, not the true, the ancient sun god? That's not surprising. The most important thing now is what arrangements he had in mind. I don't know, Magician replied, but the women's spring incident has already occurred. I can foresee. As she stepped into the void, she sighed. It won't be long before the fourth epoch door is truly open. Outside an abandoned castle, Justice materialized at the door, clutching the golden canister containing the women's spring. In front of her, a dark, illusory sea materialized. She stepped in, arriving in a special dream. In the dream, not only was a portion of the inverted black mausoleum missing, but it had also split in half. Deep cracks covered its surface, and pale yellow feathers stained with oil were scattered everywhere. Justice floated in midair, tipping the canister in her hand. Under her guidance, a portion of the spring water transformed into a dark rain that sprinkled on the ground. All the damage healed, and the two halves of the mausoleum began to close. Amidst this transformation, Justice stowed away the golden canister and gazed, muttering, 2 more rounds should suffice. The inverted mausoleum, that's Black Emperor, right? Is she trying to bring back Roselle? Inverted is death. Oh, inverted is death. Multiple regular ones? Is it? Inverted is death. There's no way she's trying to bring back Salinger. That doesn't do anything for her. Is she trying to help Azek in some way, maybe? Maybe... because bringing back Salinger doesn't help. My guy's a fucking dick. On the second floor of the Salle de Barbary, Lumin's bedroom, after taking a nap, he raised his right palm and realized that the red scar had faded significantly. Lumin sighed. This won't attract too much attention. His original plan was to wrap his right palm in white bandages to prevent the boss from others from noticing it. As for now, Lumin thought for a moment and wrapped a bandage around his left palm. After completing this, he eagerly waited for the compensation Miss Justice had mentioned, wondering when it would arrive. Oh, sorry. Suddenly, Lumin turned his head in the window behind him. Bang! 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 There were knocks on the glass. God, I thought it was going to be something way worse. Hold on, give me a second.
obscures, voir des hautes peintures, trouvera sans elle.
Lumen glanced over and noticed Franca. Why didn't you just use the front door? Don't you often resort to climbing windows? Franca asked, followed by Jenna. Are you injured? They asked, pointing at Lumen's palm. Why is it bandaged? I headed to the 4th level of the catacombs and crossed paths with a creature that seemed like an evil spirit. I just got a few scratches. 4th level of the catacombs? Franca asked. Believe it or not, that's your choice, Lumen said. I think it's a mix of truth and lies, Jenna muttered under her breath. Did something happen to you guys too? Lumen asked. That's right, Franca said. Should we try to divine which door it opens? Franca recounted their encounter in detail and produced a brass key. Whoever's offering a bounty of 50,000 must be loaded, Franca said. We've got an adventurous spirit. All right. Of course, this matter is dark and should be left to the purifiers. Besides, it involves some monks from the god of steam and machinery descending into the abyss. You don't really want to know, do you? To be honest, I am tempted, Franca admitted. The idea of extending life through machinery and giving life to a machinery fascinates me. It shouldn't. It's cringe. It all sucks. Dude, I have such a strong inclination now to just be like, you know what, let's just like read Reverend Insanity side by side. But I know the only reason I have that inclination is because I'm starting to get bored with COI again. I'm just like, damn, if I just like start reading that, then I can read that more and read this less. Read that a little more, read this a little less. And keep doing that until I just stop. I'm like, nah, we're gonna finish this, okay? So, yeah, that's why just I'm going to read it one at a time, okay? Because if I start a second one, I'm eventually going to either like the second one and drop the first, or like the first one more and drop the second. Either way, I can't do what Easy does, okay? I can't keep all the storylines straight in my head. I'm too dumb for that, okay? I can't keep like multiple extending in-depth storylines straight in my head. Like that just... She turned to Jenna. I planned to head to Rue de Fontaine. What about you? Didn't you ask me to find out where the factory owner lives? Well, I followed him and got plenty of information. Now we can locate the families awaiting compensation and guide them into demanding what's theirs. I didn't ask you to do it. You wanted to, Lumiere smiled. In Quartier de Jardin Botanique, the buildings bore a mismatch of components that didn't seem like they belonged, like building blocks assembled by a child. Jenna pointed to a woman crouched by the street. That's Madame Magona. Her husband died in that accident a few years ago. Lumiere, having digested a bit more of the potion's effects after igniting the bottle of fiction, was in no rush, and said, You handle it. Jenna gazed silently and said, Truth be told, I don't really like her. Why is that? Lumiere asked. She's quite malicious, the kind of person who wishes ill upon their neighbor when she's going through a rough time. She does despicable things even if there's no gain for her. As you know, my mother was a theater actress and somewhat literate. She used to work as a tutor for middle-class families, a respectable job with good pay. But when Madame Magona found out, she followed my mother and discovered the family, told the servants who were out running errands that my mother was moonlighting as a street girl and that she was immoral. Before long, my mother was fired and had to settle for jobs like cleaning lady or dishwashing maid. Madame Magona, as illiterate as she is, had no chance of getting the job my mother lost, but she seemed oddly pleased. Jealousy is a cardinal sin, Lumiere nodded. Why didn't you take revenge? Jenna whispered. That was long ago. Besides, in a place like this, similar things happen sooner or later. When my father passed, my brother was considered a strong lad, or our family would have been in an even worse state. If a widow moved in with her daughter, someone would come knocking on your door the next day, cursing you and claiming that her husband stole a few glances at you. The neighbor would pretend to be friendly and introduce you to her male relatives. If you refused, that a relative of hers would sit outside your door and drink every day. The police wouldn't bother with such things, and you couldn't count on anyone for help. And one day, when he got really drunk, well, I don't need to spell it out, do I? Sometimes the police would arrest him, but arresting one would only bring in a second or a third, maybe even enraging the relatives. They'd smash through your window, pile feces at your door, recruit older kids to harass your daughter. The worst part was being the target of the mob. To survive in a place like this, you either need a few adult men in the house, or had to be tough and make it clear that you wouldn't back down, even if it cost you your life. Thankfully, when our lease expired, my mother moved to the other end of the street, and our environment was much better there. While Lumian had faced his own share of difficulties, ones worse than Jenna, he had never encountered anything like this. The conflicts and confrontations amongst wanderers were even more overt. It was a matter of either being beaten into submission, forcing others into submission, or hovering over the fringes like a feral dog. When he arrived in Cordoue, his sister protected him, allowing him to play pranks without worry, and the other villagers were mainly subjected to the Padre's family. When he looked at Jenna, who was recounting her past, and asked thoughtfully, "Didn't you say that family around here is just trying to survive?" Damn it, that doesn't excuse their vileness. Take Madame Magona. She works 3 part-time jobs a day to give her son a chance to escape. You may not believe it, but despite how she slandered my mother, she does slip me a piece of bread when I'm hungry and wait for my mother to come home. People like her are easily ingested. Exactly. Madame Magona, did you know that damned Alphonse betrayed us? Her demeanor changed as Jenna shouted at the woman. That piece of shit always tells us to wait longer, claiming that since the courts have already passed, Sir Edmund would compensate us. But that swine is planning to run away. No intention of giving us a single copay. That swine Alphonse must have already secretly pocketed his share. Magona stood up. Is that true? I'm going to confront that swine, she said. We can't waste time on him now. Sir Edmund is on the verge of escaping. Let's stop him. I know where he lives. Lumin stood 5 or 6 meters away, listening to Jenna stir up the locals, casually surveying the area and realizing that this place was similar to Rue Anarchy. Amidst the bustling scene, one individual stood out. Draped in an old linen shirt and dark pants, his face was relatively clean. At that moment, the man was engaged in the conversation. He presented a stack of banknotes and counted them. 195, 200. Can you check if it's 200 Vrildor? If you don't believe me, you can count it yourself. The smallest denomination of the banknotes was 500. Was 5 Vrildor. The woman, who had likely never held so much cash before, trembled as they counted it and confirmed it was indeed 200. The man took the notes away and started counting them again. 195, 200, 205. See, as long as you utter God's name, you get an extra banknote. A swindler. Lewin couldn't help but recall Monet and saw the ball unique, and hostility welled up within him. The woman recounted the money and realized it was indeed an extra £5 note. Upon seeing this, the man said, "My lord is the ruler of all diseases. If you believe him, you will never fall sick. Even if you do, you'll recover quite quickly. Illness is the punishment of the malady god. If you have faith in the malady god and devoutly pray to him, he will spare you." I'm not going to lie to you, with the swindler and the illness, I literally thought he was going to say, "My lord, the fool." Call me crazy. I just thought he was going to go like, "You will never fall sick, and even if you do, we can assist quite quickly." Or like with the fucking medicine of Emlyn or whatever. I don't know why. That's where I thought he was going. I was like, that tracks. Lumion drew his revolver, flicked it skillfully, and swung it at the man's head. Instinctively, the man crouched, clutching his head. Between his fingers, blood began to flow. "Come, let's see how your god heals you." "Malady god, the god will punish you." Lumion picked up the banknotes that had fallen and handed it back to him. "If you can't count an additional 100,000 today, don't even dream of leaving." With that, he raised his revolver and stuck it to the side of the man's face. Dare I say, Lumien's not a very nice person. I don't know, call me crazy, I just don't think he's very nice for some reason. Lumien's just a silly guy. Uh-huh. Yeah. The man's middle-aged fear-filled gaze locked onto Lumien, uncertain about what had triggered the sudden confrontation. He wasn't the one being deceived, nor was he one of the mobsters who held sway over this neighborhood. So why was Lumien rushing up to assault him? Adding to their confusion, Lumien didn't give him a chance to defend himself. His eyes fell upon the revolver, and he discreetly glanced at his aides concealed in the shadows. He couldn't afford to threaten Lumien or resist him. I can't produce that much money. I didn't bring that kind of cash. How disappointing. I'm short 100,000. Taught you the magic of counting money. Who introduced you to this god? The man's throat tightened, but he remained silent. Lumien opened the cylinder's revolver, revealing the bullets to the captive. He then closed the cylinder and pressed the muzzle to the man's forehead. 3, 2... What? It's the envoy, the man cried out. Envoy? The envoy of the Malady god, the man blurted out. He approached me, taught me some tricks, and told me of the Malady god. He asked me to help him recruit, promising a share of the profit. Is he a genuine believer in an evil god? A swindler exploiting a deity's name for riches? Perhaps a blend of both. Lumien withdrew the revolver from the man's forehead and tapped it to his still intact cheek, smiling. Now that's more like it. That's all it took, eh? Bang! A bullet tore through the air, embedding itself in a nearby tree. Sorry, I didn't scare you, did I? The man's heart pounded wildly, and a small puddle formed beneath him. What is the name of this envoy? Where does he reside? What does he look like? I've been running low on some funds. I should pay him a visit. I don't know. All I can tell you is he's tall and slender, with pale skin, almost as if he's chronically ill. His eyes are grayish blue and he's black hair. Grayish blue? Black hair? Done is back, boys. It's so back. He's just got to mention receding hairline, and we've got done 1-to-1. It's perfect. Hold on. It's short. Fuck. Like the haircut of a wealthy boss's secretary. He visits me every week, but I don't know how to find him. Meanwhile, Jenna had joined Madame Magona and the others, her curiosity piqued by Lumien's actions. However, the urgency of the situation prevented her from inquiring. Dunn wouldn't do this shit. But if he died and was reborn corrupted slightly into believing in evil god, he might, hear me out. He could do it. This man was a cannibal, okay, in his real life. He said like, oh, well, I'm keeping my friends with me. I don't want them to be alone. You're eating people. No. This is not okay. This is not okay. Jenna had effectively instigated several individuals who had been waiting compensation. The more these wronged souls spoke, the fiercer their fury grew, urging Jenna to lead them to confronting the factory owner. Amidst this mounting outrage, Jenna found that she no longer needed to actively investigate. The collective anger had taken on a life of its own. As they hurried together, the neighborhood where Sir Edmund resided, Jenna had an epiphany. She didn't need to personally converse with every member of the group to incite them. While Jenna and the mob progressed to their destination, Lumion remained behind to extract more information from the middle-aged man. After confirming that he couldn't elicit any further details, he rose to address the deceived woman. "You heard him. This guy's trying to deceive you. Do you intend to let him off the hook?" Lumion had discreetly employed the niece's face to alter his appearance, ensuring that no one would associate him to Lumion Lee. One of the women present had actually been the middle-aged man's collaborator in assisting him in preaching and swindling. But she dared not utter a word in this situation. Amongst the women, there were some brimming with anger, ready to hand the con artist over to the authorities, while others cowered in fear. Lumion observed in silence as they voiced their opinions. Amongst the bystanders, he noticed 3 men attempting to slip away. These 3 were the accomplices of the swindler. Without hesitation, Lumion raised his revolver and discharged 3 rounds. The trio cried in pain and crumpled to the ground. "No need to worry about seeking revenge," Lumion assured. After a few seconds, all the victims stammered, "It's up to you." "Take them to the nearest, steam cathedral," Lumion nodded. At the intersection of Quartier de l'Observatoire and Quartier de la Jardin Botanique, a swarm of men and women dressed in tattered attire surged to the beige 3-story building. The 2 guards stationed at the entrance yelled, their voice ringing out. "Halt! How many more chapters are you doing?" Harsh, let's do 1 more. Let's end it at 361. That'll be 5 chapters. We'll end it there. Confronted by the sight of the firearms, even Madame Magona and her determined followers stopped. The presence of their weapons was daunting. "We're here to demand our rightful compensation. The court has rendered its verdict," Jenna said. "You son of a bitch! Shoot us if you dare! Do you even have enough bullets? Can you take all of us? If not, the ones alive will beat the shit out of you!" With fiery determination, she strode to the entrance. Beads of sweat formed on the palms of the 2 guards as they peered at the sea of faces. The sheer number of debt collectors was overwhelming. It was impossible to predict the responses if they opened fire. "If we disable or kill you, do you think you'll still receive your compensation?" they said. "Look at us. Our compensation has been withheld for years. Are you certain you'll get your payment from that stingy old Scrooge? His family might run away tomorrow." The 2 guards were taken aback. This was a problem. Furthermore, they were well aware that the boss's family had liquidated most of their assets and were on the verge of fleeing. Would they take 2 injured and 2 incapacitated bodyguards along? The harsh reality was laid before them. As the guards hesitated, Jenna reached the entrance, and the crowd of debt collectors close behind. Instinctively, one of the guards followed standard procedure, raising his right hand and firing a warning shot to the air, attempting to deter the horde. The other guard tried to subdue the elegant-looking women who appeared to lack combat prowess. Jenna recoiled momentarily, grabbing hold of the man's arm and unceremoniously crashing him to the ground. Spurred by the gunshot and Jenna's boldness, Madame Magona picked up the revolver. Although she wasn't familiar with its operation, her resolve surged. She sprinted to the entrance. The remaining guard hesitated before relenting, opting not to open fire on the advancing crowd. Clutching a revolver, Sir Edmund Sr. voiced his trepidation. "What do you want?" "We're here for our money!" Jenna seized the revolver from Madame Magona's trembling hands and leveled it at Edmund Sr. "Without the compensation we're owed, we won't survive. Let's see who dies today." Edmund's hand trembled, as though he had contracted an incurable ailment. Outside a steam cathedral that bore a resemblance to a small factory, Lumion gave an instruction to the woman assisting the injured swindler. "Take them to the Padre and explain the money conjuring magic and their association with the malady god. If they refuse to talk, provide an account on their behalf." The women nodded solemnly, and with their black eye, guided the swindler's group into the cathedral. Lumin holstered his revolver and observed silently. He reflected with a touch of amusement. Madam Magician's suggestion is indeed on point. Both healthy physically and mentally, to let off some steam occasionally. Of all the things to believe in, they chose an evil god, and their swindlers. After a mere 2 minutes, Lumin strolled away while the police officers arrived on the scene. Lumin crossed paths with Jenna and the jubilant debt collectors outside 5 Avenue Selbu. So quickly? Lumin asked. I didn't anticipate it happening this swiftly either, Jenna said. I was prepared for someone to call the cops and handle the situation. But once Sir Edmund's family was surrounded and we issued our threats, he yelled and began paying. Damn it, his family's rich. Their cash and gold and valuables added up to more than enough. There's even a surplus. That doesn't even account for the assets he hasn't even liquidated. Giving always stings, Lumin chuckled. Sometimes things seem complex, but when you truly commit to them, they become simple. And then there are situations that seem straightforward, but turn out to be fraught with twists. Jenna knew that Lumin needed gold, and the compensation she had received came in the form of various types of gold jewelry, worth 3,000 world d'or. Here, I'll sell you these. I'll withdraw the money from Saul de Barbary, Lumin said. He only had banknotes and silver coins totaling just over 600 world d'or on him. In the evening, Lumin found himself with some free time and returned to the motel, descending to the basement and spotting Charlie. Drinks are on me, Lumin grinned. Amidst the cheers of 20 or 30 people, Lumin said, Charlie's footing the bill. Charlie froze. And if he does a strip dance, I might even cover that too! Don't forget to check out our... Oh, yes. Oh, Chris, please tell me there's some fucking artwork I can use for my thumbnail. People are starting... Everyone's like, hey, man, you've read like a quarter of the fucking thing. Can we maybe switch to like a different thumbnail? I'm like, bro, I don't have one. It's not my fault. Milosh, my art guy, doesn't send me anymore. This shit is cringe as fuck. It's probably not even his fault. I doubt there is any. Oh, good Jesus. Recently, those who frequented the basement had grown indifferent to Charlie's lectures on responsibility and civility, now taking the chance to tease him. Dressed in a white shirt and black vest, Charlie hesitated between buying drinks for nearly 30 people or performing a striptease. He set down his beer and leapt onto the table swiftly. In the past, when he was drunk, he'd done all sorts of things. Why should he be afraid of this? Lumin smiled and applauded, taking out a 20 world d'or banknote and placing it on the bar counter. A drink for everyone! Let them have what they want! With that, he picked up a glass of Lanty-proof and watched as Charlie clumsily gyrated his lips, unbuttoning his shirt. More passion! More energy! Lumin shouted. The other patrons chimed in, sweat beading on Charlie's forehead. This wasn't a cheap shirt. After some thought, he decided to take it off, as one would a sweater since the top buttons on his shirt were already undone. Lumin took another sip of his Lanty-proof and leaned on the bar counter in amusement. He glanced at Gabriel and said, "You're early today? Hadn't this playwright, accustomed to staying late, only come here for a drink after midnight?" "I'm moving out tomorrow," Gabriel said. "Light Seekers begun airing?" Lumin had a guess. "Not yet, but after rehearsing for a while, Moswa Lop and the directors think highly of me. They're confident. I won't have to worry about my living expenses even after moving to a more expensive place. And spending the 1,000 world d'or advance. As you know, I don't write trite stories for tabloids anymore." Good for him. Hey, at least someone got a happy ending. Thank God. Not ending, but at least a happy turn, okay? This guy's probably going to die in 2 chapters, all the same, but I'm happy right now, so shut the fuck up. Rue St. Michael in Quartier d'Eu, where many authors and painters find their haven. Not far is the National Museum, the Trier Art Center, and various galleries. Quartier d'Eu, known as the Art District or Financial District, was a blend of ancient charm and modern opulence. Housing was not only the artistic community, but also the financial heart of the city, home to the major banks like the Intis Central Bank and the Trier Bank. Rue St. Michael on the outskirts of this district offered affordable rent, making it attractive for artists and writers. What a fantastic choice, Lumion said. You might toss a brick and hit 3 authors and 2 painters, and let's not forget those poets who die without anyone noticing. However, that's indeed the most suitable place for artistic exchange and creativity. It's not like here where it's quiet only at night, but it's only relative in the bedbugs. Gabriel realized that the violent and elegant mobster beside him was the current boss of this motel, and shut his mouth. At that moment, Charlie completed his striptease and donned his shirt once more, and sat down beside Lumion. I've been swamped lately. I haven't been around for days. As soon as I get home, I feel like collapsing. This is the drawback of being a decent bloke. Why in the world would they suddenly launch such massive investigation into those wanted criminals from Cordoue? What concern is Cordoue business to me, C.L. Dubois? Lumion said. Having contracted the niece face from the human-faced mantis, he wasn't particularly concerned about being recognized by authorities. After seeing Lumion's self-assured demeanor, Charlie dropped the subject, eagerly mentioning that a colleague had introduced him to a female teacher. Although she wasn't interested in him romantically, it marked another stride towards his quest for dignity. As they continued their drinks, Lumion and Gabriel, who was set to move the following day, Charlie bid farewell and ascended to the second floor. Gabriel's gaze fixed on the corridor wall, illuminated solely by a gas wall lamp. It's only when I'm on the verge of leaving that I realize there's something worth reminiscing here. When I first moved here, I thought it wouldn't be long before I escaped this dump. With my talents, who would have guessed I'd be here for 10 months? Even if I move to Rue St. Michael, I'll often think of that cozy little bar, reminisce about the absinthe that could both sober me up and intoxicate me, the smell of sulfur, those bedbugs, and the people who brought light to my darkness. Miss Seraphine, Charlie, you. Don't you authors enjoy launching into spontaneous soliloquies and lengthy speeches? Lumion couldn't help but jab. I don't know about others, but I do it occasionally, Gabriel chuckled. I've called this place home for nearly a year, and I've witnessed numerous tenants vanish, leave in a haste, or succumb to the pain of life. Yet the very next day, or maybe an hour later, new tenants would move in. Most of them fail and fade away like dust, but the wave of people keep coming. Perhaps 1 or 2 may eventually even succeed. That's beautiful. This is the wellspring of inspiration for the Lightseeker script. You are the one who succeeded. Lumion couldn't help but recall Madame Michelle, who had ended her life while singing, in the capital of joy, forever, Trier. Hope. Gabriel's face lit up. He took another step forward to the second floor. Where are you going? Lumion asked. To bid farewell to Miss Seraphine and express my gratitude for her support. Have a romantic night, Lumion chuckled. I am not, Gabriel protested. Lumion turned away and headed for room 207. Can't a person have a romantic night all to themselves? Gabriel was speechless. After witnessing Ciel's entrance into the room, Gabriel cleared his throat and continued his ascent to the 3rd floor. As he climbed, memories flooded in, the initial encounter with the human model, Seraphine, their first conversation about his creation, and the first words of encouragement. He understood that human modeling was a meager compensated profession. Even the most popular male models barely received 80 or 90 Vril d'Or. Ordinary models scraped by on 60 to 70, equivalent to the earnings of an apprentice motel attendant. Female models fared even worse, with a meager 40 Vril d'Or. Seraphine was no exception. She endured the circumstance to earn more money and improve her circumstances. Oh, Kami, you fucking dickhead. Seriously? Vanitas now? You're gonna fucking my boy Gabriel. Let him leave. Sakes, bro. Leave this bitch. Go to your fucking Rue St. Michael. Fuck off. Cringe shit. Oh my god. You're so predictable, cuttlefish. Kill yourself. Oh my god. In a video game. Gabriel halted outside room 309 and knocked on the door. "Come in," Seraphin's somewhat hollow voice responded. Gabriel pushed open the door and found Seraphin standing by the wooden table near the window. Her dress had slipped from her form and lay on the ground. Seraphin's eyes flickered and her hair cascaded down her back. Her fair body bore the imprints of human faces. Some were stunning, some sinister, some handsome, some wicked. All gazed at Gabriel simultaneously. Gabriel nearly startled out a cry. "What's the matter?" Seraphin asked. Gabriel shook off his stupor and realized that the faces were nothing more than lifelike oil paintings. "I'm moving out tomorrow. Thank you for your encouragement these past few months," Gabriel said. As he finished speaking, Seraphin extended her right hand, her eyes distant. Gabriel couldn't resist complying. Half an hour later, Gabriel lay on the bed, holding Seraphin close, and said, "Come with me to Rue St. Michael." "I'm moving as well, somewhere else," Seraphin said. "Where to?" Bro, they sleep together once, and immediately Gabriel's like, "Come live with me. This is perfect. This is what Lumion was talking about, you idiot. Get it together." "To a place called a hostel. My friends are there," Seraphin said. Gabriel made many attempts to convince her, but the model remained steadfast. He had no choice but to leave disheartened. Seraphin rose from the bed, entirely unclothed, and watched as he left. In that instant, the moon was veiled, plunging the room into an unnatural darkness. The faces on Seraphin's body appeared alive, their mouths opening as Gabriel retreated. Eventually, tranquility returned, and Gabriel closed the door. The following morning, Lumen struck to his routine, going for a run, practicing his boxing, and hunting for breakfast. Upon his return to the motel, he noticed that Gabriel's neighboring room was already open. No sign of Gabriel, nor any luggage. Intrigued, Lumen made his way to the third floor and discovered that room 309 was in the same state. He clicked his tongue and returned to room 207. Before long, the doll messenger made an appearance, tossing a neatly folded table and a silver mask on the table. Madam Justice's reward has arrived. Lumen's delight was palpable. He's got lie now. Let's go. And it's a fucking mask. Let's go. Alright, boys. Hour and a half. Obviously, I know not as good as y'all would probably want, but it's not bad. Yeah, boys, we'll end it there. Yeah, have a good night. Tomorrow start at March 20th. Start what? Wait, what are you talking about, Chris? Oh, the artwork. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Bye, Harsh. Chris is receiving a revelation. I don't know, maybe. What the f is that, bro? Timeout merchant, fuck you. Who's this? Ella. Oh, wow. God. Okay, she if between this and Sharon, you can't tell, I have a type. Wow, she pretty. She's very pretty. Pretty. This one, not so much, but this one. Pretty. What the f is this shit? Actually, true. But as much as I hate to agree with Kami, this one's kind of true. What the f is this, bro? Samurai and Women Spring. Jesus Christ, that looks terrifying. Holy piss, that looks terrifying. Bro, I see that shit, I'm running the fuck out of there immediately. No ifs, ands, or buts. We're out, baby. Fuck that. It is what it is, baby. Nah, we're not fucking living through that shit. Fuck them. Alright, Hella, you gotta die here so I can live. It is what it is. Listen, you're pretty. I will remember you forever. Bye-bye. Nah, fuck it. I'm leaving Hella there. I do not care, okay? Bro, okay, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is Azora High in the Discord channel? What the fuck is this? How do we have Lord of the Game of Thrones Jesus in our server? Who the fuck is this guy? I've never seen him before. I just noticed him today. I was like, who the fuck is that? Yeah, that was just funny. Alright, boys. I'll, Tudor said no. Alright, boys. I'll catch y'all later. Yeah, have a good rest of your day or nights. Day stream tomorrow. I have boxing at 11 to 12. And then probably get home at like 12:30, have some lunch or something, and then maybe breakfast. I don't fucking probably breakfast because I'll probably just go fasted. And then probably stream at like 1:30. I'll schedule it obviously, but we'll go from there. All right, boys. That's it. We'll catch y'all.